Greetings, nerds. So let's look at the AK Interactive Oil Paint, their new range, where they finally start listing pigments here. Now, in all fairness, I have no plans on buying this. I have no plans on reviewing it. I tried one of the old versions of it. It was awful. The reason why I don't plan on doing anything with this paint, other than looking at it and guiding people with pigments, especially with the hobby community where they don't know pigments, is because uh, of the Human Atrocities campaign, where they used Holocaust footage with the mass burial, or the mass graves, I should say, dumping of the bodies into the mass graves, and also making a diorama out of a gas chamber. And I might have some weird morals here and there, but that's one of the lines you don't cross, is screwing around with the Holocaust and making light of genocides as a whole, which that book is filled with. And either way, if you didn't know about that, leave a comment down below saying I should make an entire video about that, because it gets way more screwed up than just that. Anyways, so let's look at the pigments here. Now, let's go with the first four. This is sort of an initial reaction thing, while also not entirely, because I did look at these a little bit before. Now, the titanium white, PW6, PW5, that's PW5 is lithopode. So, lithopode white is a filler pigment. This is going to be a terrible white. That's a low quality white, right there. All you have to know is that this paint is going to be filled with a lot of fillers. And when you have a matte finish paint, that means it's very low quality. And if it has, if it dries in a day, it means it has a ton of secatives in it, which means it's not an oil paint, it's an alkyd. And if it doesn't have an alkyd additive, that means it's also not an alkyd. Henceforth, this is a student grade paint. The fact that it's matte proves this. So you're paying a ton of money. You're paying Michael Harding prices for this paint. Just remember that. Unless they're adding in a cobalt cicative, which that's really expensive, and I highly doubt they're doing. Either way, lithopode, already a bad white. That's terrible. Go buy Michael Harding. Or hell, go buy Gamblin. Sepia. PBK 11 Mars black, iron oxide black, PR101, red iron oxide. Sometimes it's brown iron oxide, but most of the time it's red. Sepia needs more yellow in there, so that might be a transparent red iron oxide. You don't know because it's all PR101. But that's just going to be black. It's a reddish black color in theory. Maybe a little bit brown. Which, if we look at it, yeah, that just looks like it's Mars black. Dust. Once again, PBK. Maybe. That has white in it. That has white in it, and they're not listing that. No way can you mix that color out of those two. That contains white. Natural Black 6, that is genuine asphaltum, genuine bitumen. That does not dry at all in oil paint, and it is not a stable pigment. Oh, at least they gave it their lowest color fastness. That's at least accurate. Yeah, don't buy this paint. Do not buy bitumen. Bitumen is not a good pigment for oil paint. It is closely related to a dye, more so than a pigment. Smoke. Umber. Royal Yellow. PBK11. Okay, that's... So, PBK11 is transparent black iron oxide, which is opaque in oils. Now, one trick with it, there's two versions. There's PBK11, there's PBK12. PBK12 is the one that people want. PBK11 is the most common one that you see everywhere. I've seen PBK12. PBK12 is the red tint one. It's iron, titanium, brown spinel. But that one's called Mars Black Red. It's pretty cool, actually. Really neat. It's a really weird color. Burnt umber. Mixed pigment burnt umber. PY42 and PBK11. Yeah, that's not going to mix that color. It's going to mix a green. That's incorrect pigment listing. That's incorrect pigment listing again. PY1 and PO13. So PY1 is a Hansa yellow. It's not very light fast. The only people who care about PY1 are watercolor people, and they're morons for caring about that color. Just use benzimidazoline. It's better. PO13, that's dichlorobenzidine orange, or benzidine orange. Not very stable, not very good. In general, just a terrible, terrible orange. Why they would use that? It's because they're going through an industrial company, and the only people who use this are going to be things like, what? I don't actually know who would ever use it, other than maybe Holbein or Schmeke, because they can. I don't know. I know a couple companies use it, but it's still not very good, and most of them have switched off of it. Cassel Earth. Okay, I have a genuine Cassel Earth. That Indian yellow is too orange. Warm red. If that's mixed pigment warm red, I'm going to scream. Now this, I can see this with this mixture. It's still wrong. PY1, PY42 would not make an orange. It would make a darker yellow. That is the incorrect thing on there. Faded dark yellow, I can see that as faded dark yellow. PY1 with PY42. Yeah. But it's not going to be that orange. That's benzidine. I think they mixed the royal yellow and the Indian yellow up. I swear. They didn't, because they're going to be claiming that's the Indian yellow is that orange hue, and genuine Indian yellow is not that orange. It's really not. And that's mixed pigment. PR122 or 112, which is naphthol ASD, and PY42. That's going to mix an orange, not a dark red. That's a weird kind of dark orangey reddish color, but it's still an orange. That's just like very pinkish red color. Neither of those. I can see that naphthol being in there, but that's no. PB29 and PB153. Cobalt blue. Faded navy. That's not cobalt. That's ultramarine and phthalo blue green shade. Fuck you, AK. Stop lying what your colors are. That's not cobalt blue. What are you doing? Who are you? Scale 75? Buff. This is... Okay, yeah. PY42, PW6. That's... Yeah. That I can see. That's still a little bit accurate because that would require a brown, so they're missing a color. Let's just go through the rest of these. I can't wait to see that Naples yellow. See, PG8, sap green. That's nitroso green. That's insanely toxic for one. 2, that's extinct. 3, in oils, it's very, very transparent. That's super opaque. There's not... Yeah. It's a very transparent pigment. That's genuine hooker's green, not sap green, by the way. I think at least. Yeah. Pretty sure that's hooker's green. Either way, that's not... Yeah, that's not right. So... Cinnabar green. PG8, PY42. Yeah. Not cinnabar green. It's a nice grassy green, though. At least. Red ochre. Why is that mixed pigment? That could just be PR 101. In fact, I think it might just be PR 101. Burnt sienna. I can see that mixture. It's still shit of a mixture. You don't put black and burnt sienna. Flesh ochre. Yeah, that's an accurate mixture. I can see that one. Yellow iron oxide, red iron oxide, yeah. Raw sienna. That's not raw sienna. Why is that dark brown? That's not raw sienna, and why is it mixed pigment? You could just do PY42 and claim it's raw sienna. PY1 and what? PY1 and PY42 would not mix this color. It's two yellows. Two yellows don't make a green. Yeah, two yellows don't make a green. I had to think there. See if there was. One yellow can make a green, actually. PY. What was it? PY129? That's actually kind of a green color. It's called green gold. It's azomethane or something like that. But yeah, that's a green. I think there's a couple other single pigment greens in the yellow line. But yeah. PW4 is zinc white, not good in oils, don't use it in oils. PBK7, neutral gray. That's a heavy amount of zinc white. Like, that's an insane amount of zinc white. That's just going to crack. You can't go above 25% zinc white in an oil paint. That's way above. That's like 90-something%. Ivory black, PBK7. That's fair enough. Look, you guys, you can actually mix that. Red, PW6, PR112. Yeah, sure. Light mud. That has white in it once again. Light mud has what? God. Dark mud. This does not. You guys don't even have your charts correct on here. This does not contain white. This contains white. You're missing white. Why are you so scared of putting a third pigment in there? Once again, this contains red. PW6 PY1 contains red. Where's the red pigment? Sunny flesh tone contains red. Where's the red? PW4 PY cadmium. Okay, no, that's not cadmium. That's no, PY35 is cadmium. PY53 I think is the one that they were thinking of, because that would be Naples yellow fake. That's nickel, pale yellow, nickel, antimony, titanite. Yeah, nickel antimony. Yeah. Why would they use cadmium though? For a company that claims they don't use cadmium, that's cadmium. PY35 is cadmium. And zinc. Cadmium, that would not mix that color. Faded white. That contains black. They're mixing it as PW6 and PW4. That contains black. That would not mix a gray. That's zinc and titanium white. Light gray. That's a weird color. That one does not seem like it's PB. I know for a fact it's not PB29 and PW6. That's real weird, though. Faded Flesh. PO20. That's cadmium orange. Also, that's pink. Pink with the. I don't think that would mix that. Um, Flesh Shadow, Intense Blue, Cream, Magenta. Let's look at the magenta. Okay, that's accurate, except it still contains white because they're trying to go for opacity. Which means it's instantly garbage and useless as a magenta. Let's see. Flesh set. Just a bunch of sets. Odorless thinner. Odorless thinner, by the way, that's just white spirit. I know a lot of people claim they can't find odorless thinner. None of it is odorless. That's a misnomer. It's just white spirit, distilled spirits, and you don't wash your brushes in it. Wash your brush in actual linseed oil. It does much better. You only use that when you are looking for to completely clean off the brush. You don't want to rinse the brush off in mineral spirits every time. When you switch colors, just as I said, linseed oil. That's all you need. Flesh oil, shadow, PO36. It's benzimidazolone orange, I think. Midazoline orange. Yeah, benzimidazolone orange HSL. I think is the one. That's an uncommonish orange. It's a decentish orange, I guess. It's like a BWS, yeah, blue wheel scale, like 7. You can get it up to an 8, in Alkyd. But yeah, in inks, it's not great, but yeah, it's good enough. It gets a seal of approval. Good enough one. PR4. That's some type of naphthol, I think. No, that's toluidine red, I think. Right? Toluidine red? Let's see. No, it's naphthol. I was right the first time. Naphthol. I had to look it up real quick. Yeah, that's naphthol. That's a that's a fade. That one's fades really quickly, actually. It's like that's a what, ASTM 3. So already bad. Not recommended for permanent artwork. Intense blue. I can see both of them in there. I don't like it. It should be single pigment. No. Cream brown. No, fuck off. Payne's gray. Yeah. That mixture would be a Payne's gray. That's accurate. PR 176. That's some benzimidazolone red type thing. I think. That's an awkward one. I think it's benzimidazolone Wait, no, I have it right here in the back. Let me grab it quick. I think it's benzimidazolone carmine. Midazo, Paranthrone, Isolindolinone, Pyranone. Ah, here it is. Yeah. It's Mayan carmine from Gira. I do have it. I'm not a fan of that color. It fade. At least I have it as a color fastness too, because it does fade fairly quickly. It's an interesting pigment, a very weird color to have. It does kind of look like that, honestly. It's a little bit more red and more bright. Matter Carmine, I don't agree with that name, but whatever. Starship Filth. That's just another black. Turquoise. That contains white. Where's the white, AK? Lemon yellow. That is, yeah, that is a lemon yellow. Not genuine lemon yellow. Genuine lemon yellow is fairly toxic. I have a short about lemon yellows, which PY3, you know what? transparent lemon yellow, sure, yeah, we'll go with it. It's not color fastest 3 though. This is the reason why I also say don't trust any company that uses a 3-star scale. Only trust them if they use a 5-star scale. PY1. That's not PY1. PY1 is not that red. I've never seen one that red. Cyan. PB152. That's a new one. PB152 and PB153 are really similar looking. Not gonna lie. They're different. They are genuinely different from each other, but they look really similar. Prussian blue. Yeah, that is Prussian blue. That is genuine Prussian blue, but it makes me wonder if they are putting Prussian blue into their acrylic paints, which you cannot do. Emerald green, PG7. Yeah, that's legitimate. Permanent violet. Dioxazine. That's PB23, dioxazine violet. And PR122, quinacridone magenta. Yeah, that would do that. That's a little bit too opaque. So there's definitely fillers in there. Cadmium red. Yeah, that's not cadmium red. But that PR108, that is cadmium. That is the naphthol Bordeaux, or whatever the hell it's called. Mentioned earlier. I don't have a sample of it because it's not light fast enough for me. But oh god, at some point I'll get it. It's just not anywhere where I want it to be. Was it not permanent Bordeaux? That's toluidine red, by the way, is PR3. So PR4 is quote unquote permanent red R. It's fast red R, which is yeah, you don't invest in fast stuff generally speaking if you're into fine art. But yeah, overall it's terrible. Ochre. PY41. For those that don't know, hold on. PY41. Fantastic. Fantastic. You fucking morons! That's lead! Moving on. Olive green. That would mix an olive green. Yeah, I think that's an accurate one. PY3 with a PBK7 carbon black. Purple. PV15. That is ultramarine violet. Which, sure, that's going to be super transparent, and yeah, it's not an opaque pigment. Far from it. It's also very low tint strength, so it makes me wonder if there's something in there. Which there is, because it's filled with fillers. Orange. PY13. PY83. PY83 is diarylide yellow, which is actually not a bad pigment. It's actually kind of opaque. Which, yeah, no, it probably... That's more accurate. It's still too red, but... be more on the yellow spectrum, if there's yellow in there. So yeah, that's the pigments in here. I really hope they're not using their Naples yellow is using PY41. If it is, or not PY41, I really hope their ochre isn't using PY41, and I hope that's a typo. So just for context here, why I screamed out, PY41 is genuine Naples yellow at £4 or €4 for a 20 mil tube. I'm assuming it's a 20 mil tube. Doesn't say how big they are anywhere on here, but knowing them, it's a 20 mil tube. That would be a hell of a steal. Also, it looks like yellow ochre, and that's a typo. PY42 is yellow ochre. That's the one they're wanting. PY41, that looks more like that other Naples yellow. That's, yeah. No, PY41 is lead. And if that is actually PY41, they're going to have lawsuits on their hands very, 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 very quickly. Yeah. Bye, I guess.